Hey guys, Brian here. Welcome back to the It's Pretty Cool shop. The water heater keeps it about 20 degrees above outside air temperature in here most time. But since it's like zero outside right now, that means it's still only 20 degrees in here, which is not the most of comfort. But I got extra clothes I can put on and that keeps me alive. So I've got this thing somewhat temporarily wired up. I was able to hunt up enough wire here to be able to get it hooked to the transformer over there. So I've got the phase converter feeding the transformer and the transformer feeding this. And I've checked all the power leads and everything and it's hooked up properly. So I'm gonna hit the transformer here and show you what we got going on. Let's hit go and see what happens. What happens? Nothing. Forward or reverse, won't start. So, let's pull the belt cover off over here. And with the belt cover off, this should be free to turn. And it is not. So, I pulled off the bearing cover to see if something there was fried, and that appears to be okay. I don't see anything air out of the issue. There is a fair bit of oil in here, so maybe something did go south, maybe didn't. I don't know. Gonna have to do some investigating and see what I can find out. So first thing I'm gonna do is get this motor loose, backed off from the belt, and see if it'll just run on its own, or maybe the motor's locked up. I don't know. But definitely a problem going to have to be fixed, so I'll tear into it and bring you back. Well, pretty sure I found the problem. It's by far the dirtiest motor I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how you get that much crap in a motor. Looks like it's been plowing ground. It's got so much dirt in it. Hate to think about the operator that stood around and used this thing and breathed all this in. But that's why it won't turn. The rotor's locked up. I can rock the clutch part up here, but it won't budge nothing down here. So I'm gonna have to try and get this cleaned up and get this thing freed up where it'll turn. Then maybe it'll have something to go on. So, let me get it on this and I'll bring you back. Well, it took quite a bit of penetrating oil and beating it with a sledgehammer and eventually a pipe wrench and a 6-foot piece of pipe. Yep, I'm afraid an Earl by pipe wrench happened here, but I did it on the section shaft up there under the blower where nothing goes on it. So, shouldn't be too bad. I didn't do it on any of the bearing surfaces. But that's the only way I could get it apart. I couldn't pull it the other way. I couldn't push it out, couldn't beat it out with the hammer. So I had to spray a bunch of penetrating oil up in there around the shaft to get it loosened up and work it back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth a little bit with the pipe wrench. It started just barely moving like a 1/16 of an inch, and eventually I got to where I could get it to make a full turn. And then with 2 pry bars and some 4x4s, I was finally able to pry the thing apart and get it there. You may ask, why would I take it apart there? The answer is because the belts will hold the thing tipped up in line so I can slide it together without messing up the armature or anything. It's a lot easier than me trying to do it out on the floor, because it's not the easiest thing to hold on to, and it weighs a whole lot. It's several hundred pounds in each one of those pieces. I'd say probably the whole motor assembly's, I don't know, 600 maybe. Quite a bit with all the bells and stuff on it. It's at least 4, probably more. But looks like the thing's packed up with rubber, best I can tell. I don't think it's dried up grease. It could be, but I think it's rubber dust that's gotten jammed up in it. So I'm gonna guess that they were probably cutting rubber rolls on this thing and that's where all this trash come from. So it's sucked it up and built it up till it wouldn't turn anymore. So now I got to clean it up and hopefully it'll work. I'll get to it and bring you back. Well, cleaning up electric motors might be one of those jobs that's dirtier than a coal miner. Anyway, I have got this as cleaned up as I'm going to. It looks pretty good, actually. I'm surprised at how good shape it is. It appears to be an original motor because the date on it says 61, and this is a 61 built machine. So I'm sure it's the one that probably came with it, and it should last a long time. Now that I've got it cleaned out, and hopefully it'll turn again when I get it all put back together, the bearings seem to be in good shape and free. I don't see any noise in them. I have to check them out after it runs for a little while, put some new grease in them and get them back going and see what they do. But the main thing is get this thing fired up and see if the rest of it works. So I'll put this back together and bring you back. Let's try it again, see what we get.